Hey everybody, so we're gonna go ahead and put the head on, the head gasket on, the head on, and then go ahead and torque it down. So we have a Tomei head gasket. Let's see if I can open this up and then let y'all see. It's an MLS multi-steel gasket. There, see. So we got a Tomei MLS gasket. We ordered it off of Real Street. And there's only one way you can put this on. So put a slider on here. There we go. Here you go, so y'all can see. Go ahead and got the gasket on here. And then we're gonna go ahead and lay. I had this at top dead center, but I went ahead and backed it off a little bit. So we have the clearance on these. So when we put the cams in, we'll go ahead and time the head, and then we'll roll this back up and get this at top dead center, and everything will be good. But we'll go ahead and sit the head on. Obviously all the caps are off, so the cams are just sitting on it. So we'll go ahead and sit that on here and get that done, and might as well show you guys while I'm doing this. I just went ahead and painted these. We got these done in wrinkle black. Just got done with the last coat. See if you can see that. Still a little wet because I just got done doing that last coat, but it's definitely gonna look good when it's all done. And put it all together with the black, the flat black block, which obviously, since it's cast iron, it looks like it has the wrinkle on it, but that's just the block, obviously. And then we got the aluminum head, and then we'll have the black valve covers on top of it. So I'll go ahead and sit this on top of there, and we'll get to it. Actually going to go ahead and just take these cams out of here because I do not want to ruin these cams. I'll find something to set them on real quick. Whew. Look at her. Alright. Very nice and smooth. Not bad. You can kind of still see the Tomei brand from the head gasket on there. Alright, we'll just go ahead and set the cams on it. Just for right now, just to look at it, but actually no, I'm not even going to do that because we got to go ahead and get these bolts in here, and that's my real street steer. Okay, we got our ARP washers and our nuts. So we'll ARP stuff right there. Okay, so we'll go ahead, look at the directions, make sure we put these all in correctly. Obviously, you want to read the directions, make sure everything's done right, because you definitely don't want to mess nothing up. But we'll go ahead and get to these here in a second. Put them all in, finger tight, and then I'll show you the torque specifications and the way you're supposed to torque them. All right, let's finally get it ready. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put the head bolts in on the, or the nuts on these studs. Now the ARP head stud nuts are the 12 point, and they're 13 millimeters. I actually didn't have a socket that would go in to the head to reach this nut in there, so I had to run to the store, and none of the auto parts stores had them. The only place that had it was Lowe's, and it was a Cobalt brand that had it, and I got them the 3/8 drive, long and narrow, 13 mil. So that'll fit straight down in there. I'll show you all in a minute. Let me set that to the side. So you got your 12 point nut, and then you got your washer. Now let me fix this real quick. All right, let me show you all real quick. So here's our 12 point ARP nut and washer, and there's our stud in there. Now this is what you're going to need: a narrow 12 point, so it'll actually fit down in there. They had them in the 3/8 drive is what you'll need. Here's a close-up. I know I just showed y'all, but here's a close-up of what we got. And I got the set at Lowe's. It was like $36 or something like that, but we needed them. So per the ARP instructions on these, they also give you the lube to go with it. So what you're going to need to do is put some of this lubrication on your washer and drop it down in there, and then you'll put some lubrication on your threads. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the camera back up on the side, and we're going to go ahead and just put a little bit of lube on these, sit them all down in the holes, and then go back and lube the thread and do one at a time. And we'll just, with the socket, we'll just hand tighten them, all 14 of these, and then we'll come back and we'll go back, and we have to torque them down to 80 foot-pounds. But we got to do 3 sequences, equal steps. So we'll probably do, I don't know, 20, 20, and then end up with 40 or something like that to finish it up. But let's get to it. Well, what I've noticed is I've already set this head down. Obviously, y'all seen it on top of the studs, but unfortunately, the way this head is, we're going to have to pick it back up, put all these washers in, sit them in there, and then lower it back down on the head, because this don't have the clearance around to sit these in there. So we'll go ahead and pick this back up. I'll put a little bit of lube on all these, sit them in there, and then we'll get back to it. Alright, so with this, you'll definitely want to wear some gloves. And we're just going to put a little bit of grease. I've already put all the other ones in, but I'm just going to show y'all. Definitely super greasy. Just want to get a little bit of grease out of it like that. And put it on the washer and then just roll it around on there. And you definitely want to have some needle nose pliers just in case you need them. To get in there, obviously you see those are already in there, but we got this one to put in. So I'm going to drop it in there like that. And I use my glove to, or my finger to get it in place. There you go. Now we'll put you back up on the stand, and we'll go ahead and try to sit this head back on there. And here's what. Alright. Actually, while it's off, I'll probably go ahead. Man, my wrist hurt. Sorry. I'll probably go ahead and put a little bit of lube. I don't know if I want to put them on here or put it on the threads. I'll probably just go ahead and put it in the nut, and then when it goes down, it'll get on the threads like it says. But here, let me go ahead and put you up here, and we'll go ahead and try to do that. Alright, there we go. Ooh-wee. All right, we're down. Had to pick it back up a little bit, so because one of the washers tried to go in at an angle, but see if we can see that in there. I don't know if you can or not. That one's better, you're able to see it. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put the nuts in, and then we're gonna hand tighten them, all of them, and then we'll go back and torque them. Now remember, I said you gotta torque them 3 equal times in sections all the way up to 80 foot-pounds. Let's get to it. always, when doing this, you'll definitely want to keep gloves on, because that stuff is messy for sure. Now all these nuts, I'm going to pour them out of the bag. So they're easier for me to get. We put some oil inside the threads on that one. Now that we got the oil, little oil in that thread, grab our extension, and we'll just put this down here hand tight, just so it'll sit there good. I'll show you guys a little bit. So you just get enough grease, put it inside the thread, and then when you start threading it, it'll move itself around. It'll actually, on this one, it came out a little bit, which is fine. All it means is it just threaded it all the way through. But we're going to do this to all 14. Get it hand tight. And then I'll come back to you guys and we'll go ahead and start torquing them down. Right now we're just going to get them hand tight and then we'll do a torque. Alright, now we got all the head bolts, or the nut ARP nuts on the studs right now, and they're all hand tight. So now we'll have to go back here in a second and go ahead and torque them all down to 80 foot-pounds, and then we'll get it ready. Alright, so we're going to start torquing this here in a second. Torquing all these the nuts down, the ARP head nuts. So as you can see, there's a 1 here, and what I did was, excuse me, I got a permanent marker, because you can clean this stuff off with alcohol or brake clean, but I marked each so I didn't have to look at the book or anything online for your torque specs, or the Toyota diagram on what bolts to torque down first or tighten first. So according to the book, this stud will be your number 1. You got number 2 over here, number 3 in that corner, and number 4 in this. So, and then so on and so forth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 here, 6, 7, 8, and just a X pattern basically. And we're gonna do it to the ARP standards. We got to do it in 3 equal parts. So we'll do 25. we'll torque them all down to 25 in that pattern. Then we'll torque them down to 50 in that pattern and go into doing it, torquing them to 80 in the exact pattern. And once we get those done, then we'll go ahead and put some of the assembly lube in here, and then we'll put some of the assembly lube on top of the cams, obviously, when we sit them in here, and then go ahead and put the caps on. And then once we put the caps on, I'll show you the order on how we're going to torque them down. Obviously, we're going to put them in and hand tighten them, and we'll go into detail on how to torque them and what kind of same way with these having to be in a certain order per Toyota specs. The caps for the cams have to be done in a certain spec, or you will snap your cams, and definitely don't want to do that. So I'm going to sit this camera down and we're going to torque all these down. Alright, so the first one, we got to get them torqued down to 25 foot-pounds. So alright, we'll torque all these down to 25 foot-pounds. And with this torque wrench, this one's kind of like a manual, so it clicks. It don't have a light or anything like that on it. Okay. And then we'll do 50 and then 80. Alright, so we already got the torque to 50, so now we're going to do our last run to 80. So ooh. There we go. Doing this with socks on. That sounded like it was my torque wrench. Let's see. Yeah, that's torque wrench. Need a better one. You definitely don't want to be cheap on getting a torque wrench. This one's working, but I don't know for how much longer. We might have killed her. Yep, we're torqued, but I think we killed it. All right, so here we go. Definitely torqued down. This torque wrench is definitely going to need to be replaced. It's got a Harbor Freight Pittsburgh Pro. It's been good, but definitely ain't a match for a TJ, I guess. You get up to 80 foot-pounds and it's like, no, I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna put the assembly lube in, and then sit the cams in. And then I'll come back in the morning and we'll go ahead and put the caps on. So the next footage you'll see is going to be in the morning. Once I'm going to go ahead and get these cams lubed up and set in here for the night, and then the next thing will be in the morning and we'll get it closed up. Alright, so I'm trying to find the assembly lube, and it looks like it's disappeared on us. So I'll come right back, and once I find it, we'll get to it. Alright, so I did find this assembly lube, and I went ahead and put it in here. It looks like it's in the bucket, or on the side of the bucket, but I went straight through here, straight through on that side. Next one, I'm just going to go across the cam. I'll lay the other one in and go across the cam again. And then tonight, I'll just go ahead and sit the caps on it. That way I don't have to worry about losing anything. So I'll just sit the caps on it, and then tomorrow we'll get to torquing them all down. That would have been good. Alright, so. Okay. Trying to find a way where we can get it to sit in here pretty decent. So I think that'll be good. And what I'll do is just go on top, all the way across. This will make it so when we do torque them down and then spin them to get them on top dead center up here on the head, and then top dead center on the bottom, it won't be rolling dry. It'll be rolling with a little bit of lubrication on it. So these go in order from front to back. So this one I'm going to sit on here and I'll show you in a second. Obviously they're not going to be tightened down because I'm just sitting them on for tonight, and then tomorrow we'll come back in, and because we still got to put the cam washer. How we have the rear main seal, and then we got the front main seal for the oil pump. When we get it, there's two cam seals that you put in here, and we have them up on the box over there. But so y'all can see, I'm talking about. This says E1 on it. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. It says E1, so obviously this is 1. Then it'll go down. So when you're doing it, see, that says E2. And the machine shop went ahead, when they were doing the head work, they marked them. But they will have it from the factory. They'll have like E1, E2, E3, so on and so forth. That way you know. And then on the intake side, it'll say I1, I2. But this one sits right here. This is for your VVTi. Your non-VVTi won't have it. It'll have something similar to this. Let me just drop that in here. There we go. And obviously these are just going to sit there loose like that because I don't have them. I'm not torquing them down. But this is for your VVTi. So you'll have your VVTi solenoid in here. And then your bong in here going on down to your block right here for your oil. For the VVTi solenoid and everything. So we'll go ahead and sit this up on the rack, and then I'll go ahead and get these caps on.